you going, Ryan?
How are we doing? All good?
Yeah, good, thank you. Look,
Good.
can you just describe, from a player's point of view, the last 5 days?
Yeah, it's
The
been
last few days have been brilliant.
yeah, it's been class last few days. Yeah, there's been a lot of change. Nothing that a few of us aren't accustomed to, and yeah, it's been really positive. Obviously, very early days, but yeah, excited for what's ahead.
Good, it's good. Well done.
How awkward is this having him right next to you?
Yeah, it's not ideal, to be fair.
Right, look,
I did tell him playing. I went all the
you are
best.
Mr. Forest, right? I know you've been on the high for the last couple of seasons, but how much has this season hurt, considering there was such expectations? Results haven't gone according to plan. Managers have come and gone, and the atmosphere around the City Ground has changed.
Yeah, it's been tough. And like I've said before, I think at the end of the day, it's our responsibility as players. More than anyone, we have to take responsibility. We haven't been good enough, and yeah, you can't pinpoint on an individual. We all have to take responsibility as a club, but we have a new opportunity now, and yeah, we're really excited to tomorrow night, hopefully getting off to a good start.
Training today and yesterday seemed louder, it seemed livelier, there was a lot of laughter. Is that kind of a relief? I know obviously you're working hard, I know you're prepping hard for this game, this huge game against Porto, but is there a sense of relief around?
I'm just marvelling at sitting there watching these answers. I can't wait.
Yeah, well, look, I feel like a massive strength of this football club is getting that connection between the fans, the players and the manager. And let's be honest, the last few weeks we haven't had a good feeling around here. The City Ground hasn't been as lively, and yeah, the new manager, his coaching staff, especially Stephen, Ian, yeah, they've come in and yeah, they've brought that new sense of life, that energy, and yeah, we'll see what happens, and yeah, we're really looking forward to it.
Can I just say, in respect to the players, before I got here, I got told that, by the way, I mean this sincerely, about the squad of the players here have never really made any misrepresentation of the manager. I've been told that by a lot of people. Whenever they get asked, no, us as players have got to take more responsibility. And there's a great value to a manager when groups of players do that. And that's not just Yates here, but I've heard that a lot, about the group. When people have asked, they've gone, no, we've got to take responsibility first. And, it's a great thing for a manager to hear that when players are honest enough to go, look, the manager can take us so far, that's their job. But for players to take responsibility, I think that's a real big thing. So there's definitely an honesty amongst the group here. Sorry to interrupt, but I think that's important.
Do you feel a sense of trust already then?
Well, it's early, yeah. I'd like to think they do their own work. I'd like to think they know enough people in the game and ring around. I've let them wear white socks, for goodness sake. I never let anyone wear white socks. I had my ex-players caning me, WhatsApps going, Gaffer, you got white socks on. Fair, innit? Not allowed to wear snoozer hats, so I had to do a deal somewhere, you know what I mean? Sure. Sorry to interrupt.
No.
Can I ask you a team news question? We didn't see Chris Wood out there training today. We know he's been struggling with a knee problem.
Yeah, Ola's got a longer-term situation, I think, is already out there. And Woody's got a knock. We're wondering whether it's going to settle down, probably touch and go at the moment, because it does need settling down. He's been off the grass, so we're going to have to touch and go and see how that one is.
So is he for tomorrow?
Her back was injured as well, but we'll find out more news on that.
Is touch and go for tomorrow, Chris Wood?
Yeah, we'll see how he is, yeah. Sorry, Yates.
Go for it.
Owen, BBC.
Those Forest connections with Sean, with the rest of the coaching staff, how important are they, do you think?
Yeah, I think very important. I think probably since Roy Keane and Martin O'Neill were here, we haven't had a coaching staff who have that connection. And I feel like when they were here, I feel like they just understand what the club's about, the culture, what makes it tick, and yeah, obviously they know the club straight away, and you'd like to think that's going to help the players. And yeah, I think it just, like I said before, I think it just brings the fans closer to the players on the pitch. And yeah, we're looking for anything we can, and every little 1%. And yeah, I certainly think that's going to help.
And how are you feeling ahead of tomorrow, another big occasion at the City Ground?
I think it's so exciting. I know we said before we'd even kicked a ball in the Europa League that we're back in Europe for the first time in many, many years, and yeah, that buzz. Obviously didn't get the result we wanted at home against Midtjylland, and yeah, a team who have a lot of quality in Porto. It's going to be a tough game, but what an opportunity to get a result and yeah, kick things off in the best way possible.
Thank you.
Thank you. Marco for RTP. Do you you have a question, Mark?
Hello, I would like to ask you what do you expect from your team realistic for tomorrow game, and what do you expect for the FC Porto team?
Well, Porto have had a great start. We know they're unbeaten in the league and in Europe, so they're obviously a good outfit. We know that. We've done some work with the players. It's been difficult to cram a lot of work in to the players, but I think they've been very receptive so far and open-minded. And probably some are just reminders of what they've done well as well. I've spoke openly before. I explained to them the pride I took of being on the outside of their group last year watching them, because I thought the way they went about it was fantastic. Nothing to do with style, but the mentality. I was saying about the players, the connection they have with each other as a group. As a manager, if the culture and environment are right, that's a big step forward. And I don't think it's far wrong. My point is, there's a glue that holds these lads together, and you can feel it. And now, if we can just play our part in maybe just shifting it and sort of shaking it into our liking, and they respond, then we've got a good mixture. But yeah, so I'd expect the team to go out there and be on the front foot and take the game on. With a high energy sort of towards getting a result. I think that's the minimum we can expect of each other. But they are a good outfit. We know that. We've shown the team some analysis. We know the record they've got so far this season. But here at the City Ground, we think we want to build a mentality where we can take anyone on. And certainly they've shown that over the last season, certainly, where they'll go wherever it is and take the team on. And we want that mentality to be firm.
Thank you, Marco. Chris for Sky News Radio.
Ryan, you've spoken of how difficult it's been this season so far, and obviously over the last week or so. In terms of tactically and what you're taking on board from different managers, obviously third manager of the season, is that difficult for a group of players to go from one style to another, and then obviously on your third manager of the season to take that on board as well?
I think I could say, yeah, it's very difficult, but I think as a player at this level, I think you have to be able to take information on board very quickly. Obviously, only been here a few days, but we have to be quick. We need results. We're in a results business. We're in a bad run of form, and yeah, like the manager just said, we want to make the City Ground a fortress. I think the best teams, when they're on good runs, they're solid. They're hard to beat at home, and we need to get back to that. We've been conceding too many goals at the City Ground. And yeah, like I say, it's early days, but you have to take that information on board quickly and get results quickly.
In terms of a group of players as well, obviously securing Europe for the first time in 30 years as a club, this could be a huge opportunity for you to get some points in the group phase. Are you keen to ensure that this opportunity doesn't pass you by and too many fixtures go by before you can actually make a real statement in Europe?
Yeah, I totally agree. I think we have to see this as an opportunity to go and grab it. If we see Porto, they're on a great run, it's going to be a difficult game. It's going to be a difficult game, but we want them to be thinking, wow, they're going to be right up for this. When the whistle blows, we need to give absolutely everything, give the crowd that lift, and make sure no games going forward pass us by. I remember last season how quickly we were at Christmas. And the position we were in, and I feel like it was sort of this stage of the season where you think you're just getting underway, and then suddenly you're at Christmas, and yeah, we can't let any games pass us by, and we have to see every game as an opportunity.
And Sean, how much importance do you place on your start? Because your predecessor in his first home game in charge had his own supporters calling for him to be sacked. So do you think you need to start in the best?
Well, I'm not going to question, as I said, the managers and their situations or relationships with the fans. All I want from the team is to express themselves. I want them to be out there playing for Nottingham Forest. I want them to be on the front foot. I want them to. They're all old-fashioned things, but they're real. The front foot mentality has been there ever since I was in the game. But everyone knows what it means. Strangely, it seems such an odd phrase, but everyone knows if you say front foot mentality, everyone will paint a picture in their minds of what a team is. And it's that, effervescence to a team, out of possession, pressing, the energy to press, but the cleverness to press. When's the right time to press? In possession, can you play? Can you break the lines? Can you open up the game? Transition, how quickly can you react to attack? How quickly do they react to attack and you defend? There are all these things. But to encapsulate that is a performance. And when the whistle blows, we want them to have the knowledge to go and express themselves and go and play on all them things that I've just mentioned. We're cramming, but I think the group have been very, very receptive. So we're just trying to give them what we can give them, but inevitably the whistle blows and it's down to them guys to go out and deliver. That's what we're looking for, but deliver with that edge. You know, they've shown it. They've shown it very recently, especially last season, of course, the edge that it is to win games. That's what we're after. Just remind them that edge is important.
And finally, just when you speak to supporters, there is an extra buzz when it comes to European nights. Do you sense that from the squad and yourself? Do you get...
Yeah, well, like I said earlier, Woney and Stone, they played in the last European game there, didn't they?
Just
Stoney
told,
scored.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Class.
I know, exactly. He never mentions it. So, you know, them guys know how it feels. It's new to me here, so I've got to experience that. But what a great experience to be. You know what I mean? Back at Nottingham Forest as a manager, and then a European night. You know, that's a great occasion. Now, of course, it doesn't feel great if you don't get the right result. It's like Yates said, we're going to go out there with the right energy levels, the right commitment levels, and also the quality of the freedom to show you quality. And we want all that on the show. That's what we're looking for.
Thanks, Chris. Katerina, CNN.
Hi, for Ryan. I don't know if Morato, maybe Jota, ever told you about the charisma that Porto has. Is very specific, maybe lost in the last season, but now I think it's maybe recovered. Okay. Have they told you about that?
No, they haven't, to be honest. Yeah, obviously Jota's not here with us now, but no, they haven't said anything. I think we're fully aware of the quality that they possess, and yeah, can't give too many secrets away, but yeah, we know we're a good team.
Thank you very much. Any more questions from the floor, please? Yeah.
Sean, I just wonder, you obviously had a pretty successful season in Europe with Burnley, and it was their first time in Europe for donkey's years. I just wonder what your memories of that were, and bear in mind how it ended and who it ended against, whether you had a chance to reminisce with your new owner about that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we had a bit of a giggle about it. No, I mean, you know, it was a different thing then. It was a surprise package, you know. Well, I suppose in a way this has been a surprise with the power that these guys shown last season to get there. It was such an enormous thing at that stage. I will say, I think, you know, this club's more geared up, the depth of squad, the facilities, everything. You know, Burnley at that time, it came too quick, really. It was, you know, it was such a new experience. The players were all almost in a confuddlement of how many different ways we've got to travel, how many different ways we've got to, you know, prep and all them things. I think, you know, these guys are in Europe for the first time in a long time, but, you know, there's a lot of European players here, a bit more open-minded to it all. So I think that's a different ththing. But no, I remember them days, and it was important to me in my career and to learn all about that. But you need the luck of the draw. The draw's different here. You know, we're playing one of the time. There's a really long name, I can't even say, one of the Turkish sides, and it's, you know, travelling overnight, not getting into bed till 6 in the morning and that sort of thing. Then having to fly down to London and play against, I think it was Fulham. It's a whole different ball game when you're doing that. You know, the draw here is different. You know, you can be back quite quick. The players recover and all that sort of thing. So it all plays its part.
And have you forgiven the owner for the away game?
There's no forgiving. We just had a laugh about it. But we did tell a story to each other, and we both laughed about it.
Any more?
Sure, not too many managers have their first game such a big, important European occasion as this. You've not had long to prepare for it. Does that heighten the excitement? I mean,
No, I mean, ideally, you'd have longer, of course, and the players get longer to get used to you. In the ideal world, which it's not in Football Manager, you have a whole pre-season. Every manager would like, in the perfect world, every manager goes in on day one of pre-season, they get 6 weeks or whatever to work with the players, of course. But football management is not often like that. You know, you often come into a situation where it's awkward times or not such good times or a changeover in the club, the hierarchy of the club, or whatever it may be. Ownership can change. So it's rare that you get the perfect scenario. Some more days will be helpful for me, the staff and the players. But, as I said, the players have been great so far. I'm not just saying it. They've been very open-minded, very responsive to what we've offered. The work we did today, simplifying some of the basic principles of what we want to do, because we don't want to overload them with too much information, but enough information where they've got enough to know what we're going to do and what we're going to, well, certainly what we're going to look to do. Well, like I say, every manager will tell you, when the whistle blows, that's the hardest bit to control. So get them in the right frame of mind, the right organisational understanding, but also take the shackles off and go and play. That's the ideal way. But like I say, the whistle will blow and we'll see.
Last one, Sarah.
Ryan, how much have you as a group felt it these last few home games, particularly mentioned about the atmosphere? How much does it kind of impact you? And conversely, how much can it go the other way if it's like a fresh start as well tomorrow for the Europa League game?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I said straight after the game the other day we were getting clapped off after a 3-0 home defeat, and I think really that's quite humbling for the players. I feel like walking in after that, a few of the lads were saying we owe it to the fans. Whatever happens, whatever decision the club makes moving forward, we owe more, because that's unacceptable. And it's not a nice feeling, and I think at the end of the day we owe it to them after a poor start to give even more for the badge, to work even harder. And we owe it to the club to start picking up results as soon as we can, because when you've got that buzz at the City Ground, we can't lose the sight that we're in Europe, that we've got an incredible opportunity. And when we get them results, when we get that result tomorrow night, it's going to be special. It's going to really kickstart our season, and we're really looking forward to it.